Shalom. This is to all Israelite groups and all Israelite communities and all breakoffs from One West and breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs. No matter what rainbow uniform you wear, red, white, purple and white, all white, it don't matter. You should all treat the ISUPK like your weird, misunderstood Sabbaths. You shouldn't do anything until you counsel with the ISUPK. We'll tell you when and what to eat. We'll tell you who to marry. We'll tell you who to have sex with and how. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your wives. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your parents, your friends, everybody. We'll tell you when and how to pray. We'll tell you how to direct your life in a way that's pleasing to the Most High God of Israel and our Black King Yahushua, a.k.a. Jesus Christ. We will be to you instead of a God. Just like the Most High told Moses in Exodus 4:16 that Aaron would be to him instead of a mouth and he would be to Aaron instead of a God, that's what we'll do for you. It is what you all need because none of you know what the fuck you are doing. I pray you understand. Shalom.
Shalom, Israel. This is Friday, Killeen, Texas, Lashawan Qadash class, and today we'll be going over the Assyrian Hebrew. All right. So first off, we have in the Assyrian. The next character I'll be going over. So we have it's pretty much trying to see how I can describe this. It's pretty much like a ox's head, pretty much. And how you would want to do it is like I know we all familiar with the greater than and least than signs. So it'd pretty much be one of those signs, but it'd be one of those and then a line straight down the middle, pretty much. The next character that we'll be going over is the Ba. So with the Ba, it's pretty much like a 4, but it have a slight curve at the end. All right, next character we're going to be going into is Ga. Okay, with the Ga, I would pretty much say kind of it would be like a check, but an upside down check. With the Ga, that's like upside. Then the next character would be Da, and this one is pretty much a triangle. We all familiar with that. Okay. Next character we'll be going over is Ha. It's pretty much a backwards F, but it has a third line. So like you're drawing an F the opposite way and adding an additional line. Next, we have wa. This is a easy character, one of the easy ones in the Assyrian because the wa, and it kind of reminds you of a Y. So wa, Y, and that's pretty much what it looks like. Oh, Salagia. Salagia. This is the ancient Hebrew. Salagia. Yeah, so with the wa, this is pretty much one of the easiest one that you can remember because the wa and then it's looked like a Y. So that's pretty much how it's pretty much easy to remember. The same with the za. So the character for za would be in the ancient would be just like a Z. And this is the so with this is the ancient Hebrew. So as you can see, the oppressor has pretty much stole our language because with these characters, this is the original language. So what the oppressors did, like they do with everything else, they have stolen our language. So they pretty much some of these characters look familiar to you guys, but because you see them in the English alphabet, which our oppressors stole,
Right.
they okay. The next character. Oh, sorry.
What you're saying is absolutely heavy. Shalom, shalom. Okay, most correct. Hey, Salaki, now what you're saying is absolutely heavy because, like, that's literally where they get the language from. Like, if you don't mind grab that black and white book right there and go to page, I believe it's page 3. I think we went over this last week. But this is the proof. Like, if you just look at the language, you can tell that they got the language from us. Like, and that's what you got to understand about your oppressor. They can't do nothing without us. You know what I mean? Everything that from whatever they call their culture, I don't even whatever they call their culture, from their language, from or if they can even claim a language, you know what I mean? From they so-called swag, if they can call it that, from whatever, like they get it from us. That's why what the brother was saying, like, go ahead, read what you got. Page, yeah, at the top of page 3.
The Hebrew alphabet is the oldest in the world, still in use today. Our own alphabet is a descendant of it by a circuit.
So read that again.
The Hebrew alphabet is the oldest in the world.
So what we just said is the Hebrew alphabet is the oldest in the world, meaning the Lashawan Qadash. What we just went over, because this is the ancient Hebrew. This is the oldest in the world. Go ahead.
The Hebrew alphabet is the oldest in the world,
Right.
still in use today.
Right, and that alphabet is still in use today. And we're about to show you how it's in use today. Go ahead.
Our own alphabet is a descendant of it.
What alphabet?
Our own alphabet is a descendant of it.
So your oppressor is confessing that what?
Our own alphabet is a descendant of it.
Their own alphabet is a descendant of the Hebrew alphabet. So that's why, like the priest was bringing out, when you look at the A, it looks like a sideways A. The Y, it looks like an English Y. The za looks like an English Z. And we're gonna go through the rest of the Hebrew alphabet, and you'll notice a lot of similarities in the Lashawan Qadash, which is the holy tongue, which is what Lashawan Qadash means, versus the he versus Slovakia versus the English alphabet. And that's what these oppressors are confessing right here. Go ahead, read that again from the top.
Khan. The Hebrew alphabet is the oldest in the world, still in use today. Our own alphabet is a descendant of it by a circuitous route.
Circuitous route. So that's what confuses a lot of brothers and sisters. Like, because, or go ahead, read on. It's going to explain a lot of it.
The text of the Hebrew Bible we use today reflects several periods of development.
So that's what confuses a lot of brothers and sisters. Like, you look at the Hebrew alphabet, and then you look at the Latin, you look at the Spanish, you look at the Arab, you look at the all of these different languages, but all of these languages developed from the origin, which is Hebrew. All of these languages developed from here. Go ahead.
Khan. Originally, only the consonants were used.
Mm-hmm. So that's where you get ba ga da ha wa za from. Kata ya ka la ma na sa I pataza kwa ra sha ta. And I don't want to do a big review because we went over this last week, but that's where we know that these pronunciations come from, or the way that we teach it, or the way that we pronounce it in the ISUPK is from the original language, because originally only the consonants was used. So when you hear things like the alterations that your oppressor implies, like sometimes they pronounce the wa that we got here as a V, like a va sound, or they change it and pronounce it like a O sound. They pronounce it in so many different ways. You know that those things are absolutely incorrect, because originally only the consonants was used. I mean, but that's the whole point. But the reality of all of these characters is that these are pictographs. These are pictures of another thing. You know what I mean? So, this isn't your oppressor, you know what I mean? Because your oppressor taught you the English alphabet, you would look at this character and think of it as like a sideways A. But in reality, this character right here isn't a sideways A. This is the head of an ox. That's what it is. You know what I mean? You got that the market, the water. That's what this is right here. So if you turn it right side up, it's the head of an ox. Like, this will be the mouth, these will be the two horns. These are pictographs originally. But because we've been indoctrinated with our oppressors' language, with our oppressors' culture, with our oppressors, school system, we look at this and we look at it as if it's a sideways A. But originally, read that again.
Khan. The Hebrew alphabet is the oldest in the world, still in use today. Our own alphabet is a descendant of it.
Your oppressor is convinced. Your oppressor is admitting that he's a culture vulture, because he's saying that the Lashawan Qadash is the oldest language still in use today. Read that. Go ahead, read on.
Of it by a circuitous route. The text of the Hebrew.
You said our own alphabet?
Our own alphabet is a descendant of it by a circuitous route.
So they claim to be the chosen children of the Most High God. They claim to be Israel. They call themselves Jewish. They claim to be Jews, but they're saying their own language is a descendant of this. So the language that they made up is a descendant of this language. Go ahead, read on.
Khan. The text of the Hebrew Bible we use today reflects several periods of development.
Mm-hmm.
Originally, only the continents were used.
Right.
By the time of the Israelite kingdoms, some continents, Yah, Wah, Ha, were used to indicate certain vowels.
Right. So what they had to do was insert vowels, because originally there were no vowels. Originally these things weren't inserted. This is what our language looked like at first, and this is where you get the Assyrian Hebrew, because we assimilated our language into one of the captivities that we were in, and then further down the line they started to add dot and dash and symbols and systems to try to indicate vowels. You know what I mean? But that's how that happened. But what you got to understand is the Hebrew that your oppressor speaks, it's a bastardized version. This is the real Hebrew. This right here, what this brother is trying to show you right now, this is the real Hebrew. All right. But go ahead, keep doing your thing. Let's go ahead and we're gonna go through the rest of the Lashawan Qadash alphabet, and then we're gonna go through the prepositions. All right. Yeah, they're right there. Yeah, but just run through the alphabet, and then we just gonna put them on the board. All right.
All right. The next characters we'll be going over. Oh, so pretty much the pronouncing, how you pronounce all of the characters. We'll start off pretty much with so it'll be ba, ga, da, ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za, ka, ta, ya, ka, la, ma, na, sa, pa, za, kwa, ra, sha, ta. And it's pretty much at the top, if you guys could see it. And those pretty much are the pronunciations of some of the characters that I just wrote out.
Now this brother right here, what he trying to teach you, man? What he trying to show you is your language. He's trying to give you your culture back. I mean, that's the whole point of this class. You know what I mean, and that's the whole importance of learning these characters right here. Like, this is your culture. This is your identity. So you understanding all of these characters, you understanding what they actually mean, you're able to take back your culture from your oppressor. Your oppressor came over here and taught you English. You know what I mean? They stole you, they robbed you, they unalived you, they, you know what I mean, did everything, every diabolical thing that you could think of to rob you of your culture and your identity. And you getting your culture back starts with this. Like, if we could just speak to one another in a language that is separate from your oppressor, if we could just deal with each other in a way, in a culture that's separate from the way that your oppressor deals with you, even, you know what I mean, in the judicial system, even in your, you know what I mean, how we solve problems, if we could solve problems that are separate from how your oppressor teaches you to solve problems, then we would be light years ahead of our oppressor's culture. But the problem is, we've been sunken into our oppressor's culture. So now we solve problems like he solved problems. And they don't judge us the same way that they judge themselves. You solve problems like your oppressor, you know what I mean? They unalive, they take life if you take their parking spot at Walmart. And they're going to get off scot-free. You know what I mean? They're going to get a slap on the wrist because their people are the judges. Their people is also the prosecutor. Their oppressor is also the defense attorney. Their oppressor is also the jury. You know what I mean? So your oppressor commits these crimes and they're going to get off scot-free. But if you commit these crimes, you retaliate to your oppressor's aggression, then you're going to have to, they're going to judge you totally different. What you about to say something?
No, it's just so heavy what you bringing out, man. The oppressor is so much of a devil that he not only did not only did he put us in cages and chains, he separated, he took our language. He took our language. He didn't even want us to speak amongst him in a different language. So that's just heavy, man. It's like it.
No, that's the whole point. Like your oppressor, they wanted to separate you from your culture and your identity so much, all the way down to the language. And what you think that was for no reason? You thought that was just for you know what I mean, just for jokes? They did that. That was strategic. They took your language for a reason. They took your. Go ahead, go to the book of Judith, chapter 5, real quick, in the Apocrypha. Like all of this is orchestrated. Like everything, we think that this is just by chance. Like, oh, because your oppressor teaches you, you know what I mean, even on a day-to-day basis, or even in school, they teach you that every nation of people went into captivity because they try to minimize your experience in America. They try to minimize what you went through in America as a Black, Hispanic, and Native American. So even though your oppressor, they've never given you reparations for, even though they promised you reparations. They told you they was gonna give you reparations. Am I making this up? They told you that they was gonna give you reparations. They told you that they was gonna give you what was it, 40 acres and a mule? They signed several treaties with, you know what I mean, Native Americans. They, even if you go in the book of the Maccabees, they made several deals and treaties, which is that's what a treaty is. It's a deal. It's a contract. They made several treaties, and not just in the book of Maccabees. It's all through the Bible. Your oppressor made several deals and treaties and contracts with the children of Israel, and every single time they broke it. And then when they don't hold up their end of the deal, and they continue to destroy you, they continue to put you in captivity and be harsh to you. They pull you over for no reason, and then you know what I mean, put you in jail, and then when they release you, the only thing that they can charge you with is resisting arrest because you're an innocent man. So as an innocent man, you're gonna resist. And that's the only thing. They pulled you over, harassed you, and because you're innocent, you resisted. Now the only thing that they can lock you up for or charge you with is resisting arrest. And they do those things to you, and then they act like nothing happened. All of that was orchestrated. We're about to read about it right now. Go ahead. What you got? The book of Judith, chapter 5.
The book of Judith, chapter 5, verse 20.
You might have to go a little bit up if you don't mind. Read what you got, and then I'll...
The book of Judith, chapter 5, verse 20. Now, therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error in these people, and they sin against their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go.
No, what will be their ruin? Read that from the top.
Now, therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error in this people,
all right,
and they sin against their God.
If they do what?
Sin against their God.
If they do what?
Sin against their God.
Go ahead.
Let us consider that this shall be their ruin.
Sinning against your God will be your ruin. You deviating from your culture, you separating from the Most High God, you speaking another oppressor's language, you celebrating another oppressor's holidays, you sleeping with a oppressor's, you know what I mean, your oppressor's women, and our sisters sleeping with a oppressor's men. You know what I mean? We making marriages with them. That's gonna be our ruin. Go ahead, read on.
Let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them.
Right. So that's the only way that your oppressor knows that they can overcome you, if they take away your language. If they take away your language, they take away your culture, they take away your feast days, they take away your style, you know what I mean? Your garments, your fringes, your everything that you do that the Most High told you to do. That's how your oppressor is able to get over you. Go ahead to Deuteronomy 28 real quick. Just to, you know what I mean, just to bring it home. Because this is what the Most High told us from the beginning. Most High told us that if we keep his laws, statutes, and commandments, that he would be with us and that he would put us above all nations upon the face of the earth. But we, you know what I mean, because our oppressor, they gave us something else. That's why your oppressor has to take away your culture and replace it with something else. And then you see them wearing your culture. Because your oppressor, I don't know if you notice or not, but your oppressor desperately wants to be you. Because the Lord only loves you. And there's nothing that your oppressor can do to get the Most High God to love him. They desperately want to be you. That's why they take away your culture and then they replace your culture with some garbage. They replace Abba Gada Hawaza with, you know, A B C D E F G, and they don't even stand by it. You know what I mean? Like they take away your feast days and high holy days and they replace it with, you know what I mean, Christmas and Halloween and Thanksgiving. And then when their children are old enough to understand, they then gotta teach their children that what they taught them was a lie. They teach you Easter. They took away Passover and taught you Easter. And then when their children are old enough, they got to teach them that Easter is a goddamn lie. Go ahead.
And it's just so heavy to what you're bringing out that we don't truly understand what has taken place, man, throughout the history of our people and how much we've been destroyed. Like with all, like everything that you're bringing out, the holidays that they set up, and they set it up and it ruined our spirit so much. Even when we go throughout the Bible and see the holy convocations, we don't even take heed to celebrate those days. Salagia.
What you said was absolutely the truth, and that's the whole point. That's the whole point. Like that's the doing of your oppressor, because they knew exactly what we reading out of the book of what we just read out of the book of Judas. If they take away your culture, if blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans deviate from the culture that the Most High gave to us, then we will be destroyed. And this is the proof right here. This is the precept. Go ahead, read what you. Oh, you about to say something else?
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say just being in the spirit of Halloween, Christmas, and everything, man. The system that they have put in place, it all comes from us being in cages and chains. Our people shedded blood, and we still take heed of the things and take heed to those things. Salagia.
Now that's the whole point. That's the whole point. So if what we've been taught in American captivity is what puts us in chains and keeps us in chains, then what's the answer? I don't know. You tell me, Zagabar, but I think we might be about to get into it. I think we might be about to unlock the secret to the condition and of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. But you go ahead and read what you got. Let's see if that's gonna give us a little bit of insight and understanding about our condition in America. Go ahead.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Man, this sound exactly like what we just read in Judas the 5th chapter. I mean, right or wrong? It sounds exactly what we just read. He said, my Lord and Governor, if they deviate from their culture, if they deviate from their, you know what I mean, if there be any sin amongst them, if there be any error against this people, and they sin against their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them. Go ahead, read that again.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of thy Lord thy God,
Uh-huh.
to observe, to do all his commandments.
Right. So that sounds like if there be any sin among you. That's what we just read in the book of Judith. Go ahead.
And his statutes,
Uh-huh.
which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee
Right.
and overtake thee.
Uh-huh. Go down to I believe verse 48. Deuteronomy 28 and 48. What did that say? Uh-huh. Go ahead, read that.
Kana one Khan, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst
Oh my God.
and in nakedness and in want of all things.
Ain't that what we just read in the book of Judith?
Kana one Khan.
If there be any error against these people and they sin against the Most High God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin. And then let us go up and we shall overcome them. That's what we're reading right here in Deuteronomy 28 in the 40th chapter. If we deviate from our culture, if we turn away from this language that we've been trying to teach you since 1969, if we deviate from this culture, then let this be their ruin. And then we'll go up and overcome them. And that's what you're reading about right now. Go ahead, read on.
Kana one Khan. In hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things.
Uh-huh.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
Ain't that what happened to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans?
Kana one
I mean,
Khan.
if I remember correctly, I think that might be what happened to us. Your oppressor came to the shores of America, the wherever blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans was. They stole us from, you know what I mean, or we were sold into captivity and brought over here, taught another language, taught another culture, you know what I mean, all of these different things. We were taught to eat chitlins. We were taught to eat, you know what I mean, catfish and hog maws and I don't know if people still eat hog maws. I might be, you know. But hog maws and pig feet and hog ears. I don't know if the hog do they still eat pig ears in the South? But you know what I mean? You was taught all these things. You was taught to celebrate Thanksgiving. You know what I mean, that's not something that we just did. You were taught to celebrate Thanksgiving. You were taught to celebrate the captivity of your own people. And that is the ruin of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's what does it right there. That's the recipe. I just gave you the recipe for black, Hispanic, and Native American captivity. That's it right there. You know what I mean? But we ain't gonna be too long winded. We're gonna go ahead and get the rest of these. We're gonna go ahead and give blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans back their culture. You know what I mean? In the way that the Most High intended for you to understand and learn your culture. If you could, are you about to? Okay, go ahead, do your thing. All right. So let me adjust this camera real quick. But the Hebrew, if you break it, as you breaking it down, you know what I mean? As you breaking down the Lashawan Qadash, or the Hebrew, as brothers and sisters understand it, you know what I mean? It's going to be in 4 steps. You have to understand, first of all, you're going to have to understand the root word. Or let me not say first of all, right? So there's 4 steps, just 4 general steps, all right? 4 steps. And they're like anytime you read in the Lashawan Qadash, whether it's Bible Hub, Blue Letter Bible, or what's the other one online? 2-letter lookup, or whatever the case is, whether you breaking down a brother's name or whatever the case is, you're gonna be looking at one or more of these 4 steps. So if you could hone in and lock in on these 4 steps, then you'll be able to understand the Hebrew. So if you're new to the Hebrew, if you're new to the Lashawan Qadash, if you just focus on these 4 steps, pretty much all of your questions should come for these 4 steps. So if you're reading any phrase in the Hebrew, then you should be looking for the root word. You should be looking for the root word. Or if you just want to learn, even if you're not looking at the Hebrew directly, right? If you just want to learn the Hebrew, you want to learn how to speak it, you want to learn how to read it, whatever the case is, or if you just want to know how to say something, that's your root words, all right? And then prepositions come before the root word, and they indicate, you know what I mean? Your prepositions and your possessives pretty much give the phrase context. So it talks about who, what, when, where, why, and it talks about whether we're talking about whether you're talking to one person, whether you're talking to in the context of first person, second person, the third person. So your possessives give you a little context on who or how many people we're talking to, and then your prepositions give you context on what we're talking about. All right. And then tenses give you a little bit more context to wrap it all up. But if you look at any phrase in the Hebrew, if you read in a Sabbath service or a high holy day, you read it in Bible Hub, Blue Letter Bible, or whatever the case is, you'll go through these. And all of these 4 steps that we just went over, it'll give you more context. All right. All right. So you ready to just go over we're gonna go into the prepositions. Or you just write them down and I'll break them down as you write them down. All right. So again, when you go into the prepositions give you they tell you what we're talking about. They give you a little bit more information to where it helps you form a sentence. Now you got it. Go ahead. Continue to write what you writing. But it gives you a little bit more context on what we're talking about and helps you form a sentence. That's the whole point. Like your oppressor's language is so complicated. Like when they teaching you their language, they'll teach you a rule and then they'll teach you how to break the rule right after it. You know what I mean? Like to the point where they don't even subscribe to their language. Like in modern English, like most of your oppressors, like they want to speak in slang. They want to speak how you speak. Their language don't make no damn sense though. You know what I mean? But your language is practical and it makes sense and it's direct to the point. And that's everything that we going over right now. All right. So means I or I am. Ba means in or on. And your preposition, if you could, next to preposition at the top, put in parentheses before. Because your prepositions come before your root word. You know what I mean? So when you breaking down the Hebrew anywhere, if you just go if you could just put it right here. We're gonna go into the possessives on the other side. But if you Salakia, what was it? But if you reading in Lashawan Qadash, if you're reading Bible Hub, Blue Letter Bible, you reading during Sabbath service, you reading high holy days, it's gonna give you where you Salakia. But when you reading in any of these contexts, you know what I mean, you reading the scriptures in the Lashawan Qadash, and you see all these characters, it's gonna be the same thing, the same 4 steps that we just went over. You're gonna be looking at a root word, and before the root word, you're gonna see a preposition, thwada. You're gonna see a preposition. And it's gonna be one of these things that this priest just wrote down. And then after the root word is gonna be the possessive, which is gonna be what we're gonna go into next. And all of these things is going to come together and build and form sentences. That's how we're going to be able to talk to one another. You know what I mean? But just learning these 4 steps right here, that's the blueprint. All right. And then you add the tenses. So tenses are, you know what I mean, like you're doing the most common ones, the doing tense. You know what I mean? You add a y in the middle of a root word. Ya in the root word, which is like the y in the middle of a root word is like adding ing to the end of a root word. The ya in the middle of a root word is like saying ed, like in English. You know what I mean, that's the easiest way to understand it from the jump. You know what I mean? If you have no experience with the Hebrew, now as you read it, you're gonna have to, you know what I mean? As you read it, you're gonna have to apply some, some practical knowledge. You know what I mean? Like black people do, like when we talk to one another, when we speak English to one another, when we say certain things to one another, depending on the tone or the vibe or the context of what the brother is talking about. Yeah, that's sir. But depending on the tone or the vibe or the context of what the brother is talking about, that's gonna let you know, you know what I mean, what we talking about, right? But at first, as we transition it from English to our native language, then you're gonna have to that's just the simplest way to understand it. All right. But this is the first, this is the, you know what I mean, this is the first part of it. Prepositions, meaning I or I am, ba meaning in or on, da meaning do or make, ha meaning the or shall, wa meaning and, ya meaning here it, ka meaning as or like, la to or from, ma what's the like here? To or for, the like here. La meaning to or for, all right? Ma meaning of or from. Sha meaning which, and then tha, thou, or thee. If you lock these in, then whenever you see them in Sabbath service, or you know what I mean, whatever the case is, feast day, high holy day, whatever the case is, whenever you see them, you'll just recognize them, and that's the whole point. Like, this is just for a reference, but if you lock them in, then we can talk to one another. Then we can get our oppressor's language out of our mouths. And that's the whole point of what we're doing, because we just read that if our oppressor can infiltrate us and destroy us and take our language, take our culture, take our identity from us and replace it with something else, then that'll be our ruin. And then the Most High won't be with us no more. You know what I mean? You wanted to add something else before we? Okay, no sweat. But with that, we're gonna go ahead and leave it right there. We're gonna go ahead and pick up next week with the possessives. And Lord willing, once we go into the possessives, then brothers and sisters should be able to form sentences and be able to talk to one another. Or it should help you be, you know what I mean, more active and more curious about the Lashawan Qadash. Because then once you understand prepositions and possessives, which we're gonna go over in a second, you know what I mean, you should already have them in your notes. You know what I mean? We've been going over this for the past 4 or 5 years. But if you don't have them in your notes, once you have them in your notes, then you can just apply any of these prepositions and possessives to root words and form sentences. And then once you get that under your belt, then all you got to do is learn root words, which is, you know what I mean, some of the root words that we already know come from sight words, like the what's it called, the pictographs, Salakia, the pictographs that we was talking about earlier. You know what I mean? Where these characters come from. A lot of those are sight words that you can use in day-to-day speech, or things that we say to one another now, like the salute. You know what I mean? Yahah Ba'Shem Yahushua Barakathum, Yahah Shamar Latham Ba'Shem Yahushua. All of those words you could use as root words to be able to form sentences along with prepositions and possessives. You know what I mean? So that's what we're going to, Lord willing, we'll be able to build on that next week. But with that, we're going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers. The visitor of Majid Shabbat. Majid Shabbat. Imajim. Barak. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah Barakatah. Yadi Matah. Sorry, we're going to turn the face to sisters. Give a courtesy salute to the sisters. The visitor of Majid Shabbat. Imajim. Barak. Yahweh Shamar Latham Ba Shem Yahweh Shah. Yadi Matah. Class dismissed.